Very good evening and a warm welcome to our second edition of UBC News Tonight on this 19th day of September 2024. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto. Now, before we delve into tonight's news bulletin, let's first take a look at the top stories tonight. Visit Pearl Dairy Farms Limited. Uganda and Mozambique sign MOU on visa exemption. Kampala-Mukono railway transportation starts next month. And Kuma Bridge to be closed. Ichweru calls for patience as government rehabilitates the bridge. Good evening once again. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto and my colleague Muhammad Mugalu will be joining us in a bit. We start off with the first headlining story this evening. Nigeria is set to start importing milk and coffee from Uganda. This was revealed as His Excellency Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president of Nigeria, paid a courtesy call on President Museveni. President Museveni also took His Excellency Obasanjo on a tour to Pearl Dairy Farms Limited in Bara City and later joined Chiruhura and Kazo Farmers at Karo in Chiruhura district. We have more.
Former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo has paid a courtesy call on President Museveni. The two leaders toured Pearl Dairy Farms Limited in Badara. The farm is known for its advanced processing capabilities and has become a key player in Uganda's dairy sector. Speaking shortly after the tour, His Excellency Obasanjo expressed his satisfaction upon learning that Uganda can produce approximately 5.7 billion litres of milk per year, positioning the country as a potential leader in dairy production in the region.
One of the things, and I can see that now more vividly, that has deliberated against our trading among ourselves in Africa is lack of knowledge, lack of what we are doing in our different countries and different regions. I did not know. If you like, you can say I am an ignoramus. But I did not know that Uganda produces over 5 billion liters of milk annually. I did not know that. President Museveni was one of those of our leaders who about 4 years ago decided and took the decision on what we now call Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. Whatever we are trying to do about integration in Africa, political, it will probably take much longer time than while I'm alive. But we can do something about economic. We can do economic integration.
He assured President Museveni and the farmers of Kiruhura and Kazo districts that Nigeria is willing to buy Ugandan processed milk and coffee.
But another good thing for which I would thank President Museveni is that we now have Air Uganda coming to Nigeria. And therefore, that makes it easy to get anything from here to Nigeria. And I will be in the forefront of that. When I said I wanted coffee, they gave me Ugandan coffee. Mr. President, we will be drinking Ugandan coffee in Nigeria. we will be using Ugandan milk in Nigeria.
On his part, President Museveni thanked His Excellency Obasanjo for coming to Uganda and allowing to partner with Uganda to buy Ugandan milk and coffee. He promised him that Uganda has the capacity to produce enough milk for the local and international market.
So, therefore, we are very lucky for General Obasanjo to take interest in
President wa Nigeria, General Obasanjo,
and come here. We have been to Mbarara. We visited one of the factories there. And he saw what is being done.
Currently, Uganda's milk export value stands at approximately $264.5 million, and government is actively working to remove barriers such as diseases affecting cattle to enhance output. In a related development, President Museveni, accompanied by the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mama Janet Kataha Museveni, also commissioned the upgraded Nshwere Church of Uganda. This church was refurbished and expanded by Toro Cement Company Limited. Maureen Babidie, reporting for UBC News.
Uganda's Vice President, Her Excellency Jessica Rose Appel Alupo, has called for stronger international cooperation in the field of technology and development, particularly between Russia and Africa. The call came during her address at the 4th Eurasia Women's Forum in St. Petersburg, where global leaders, policymakers and experts gathered to discuss women's roles in addressing key global issues. Under the theme, Women for Strengthening Trust in Global Cooperation, Alupo delivered a compelling speech that emphasized the importance of fostering collaboration to harness the benefits of technology for global peace, security, and sustainable development.
Now I would like to give floor to Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, Ms. Jessica Alupo. Ms. Alupo, the floor is yours.
Your Excellency, Valentina Matvienko, the Speaker of the Russian Federation Council, distinguished delegates and participants, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you warm greetings from your brother, His Excellency, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, the government of Uganda is pleased to be part of the 4th Eurasian Women Forum. The Russian-African Women Dialogue, under the theme High Technology Era, Security and Development Issues, presented to us, the African women and the Eurasian women, an opportunity to share experiences in the area of gender and technology, which has far-reaching effects on the lives of women and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, the government of Uganda has mainstreamed all the government programs and projects to capture and take interest of all the women issues, and therefore women are participating in government programs in Uganda in acceptable levels. Your Excellencies, based on the theme of the forum, I would like to make one simple statement. Without peace and security, there can never be meaningful development and women empowerment. The 21st century has seen a rapid evolution of high technology. While we recognize that technology has made our lives better, this comes with great complexities. This dialogue between Russia and African nations stands as an important pillar for fostering mutual growth, peace and security, and development in the digital era. Russia and Africa must continue to work together to develop robust cybersecurity frameworks, share best practices, and support each other in mitigating cyber threats. Your Excellency, high technology holds the potential to address various development challenges facing Africa, including those related to healthcare, education, resource management, infrastructure, energy, and women empowerment, and achieve our collective goals. I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Citizens of Uganda and Mozambique can now dream of free visa entry between the two countries. This follows the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding on visa exemption, among other agreements signed at the just concluded Joint Permanent Commission. Dennis Segor reports.
A key outcome of the second session of the Uganda-Mozambique Joint Permanent Commission in Kampala was the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between Government of Uganda and the Government of Mozambique on mutual exemption of visa requirements for holders of diplomatic, service, official and ordinary passports.
My prayer is that all that we have resolved in today's session and all that has been captured in the Memorandum of Understanding that have been signed be put into effect. Particularly the Memorandum of Understanding that for me is the biggest takeaway is the exemption of visa requirement for citizens of the Republic of Mozambique and citizens of Uganda in traveling to both countries. I think this is the biggest takeaway.
Other MOUs signed include veteran and combatant management, as well as an MOU on wildlife protection.
As we all know, we have a species in danger.
Que tem grande valor econômico.
That have a high economic value.
Mas também turístico, sobretudo.
And also in tourism.
E estes animais merecem
and
proteção.
These animals, they deserve protection.
Por parte das instituições do Estado.
For the institutions of the state.
Daí a necessidade
so in that regard, there's a need
de nós assinarmos este memorando
to sign this MOU
para garantirmos a continuidade da vida destes animais em período de extinção.
Areas of bilateral cooperation that were identified at the JPC include politics and diplomacy, defense and security, veterans, environment and wildlife, agriculture, transport and communications, among others.
The Joint Permanent Commission meetings were held in a cordial atmosphere, during which bilateral, regional and international issues of interest were discussed. The two delegations expressed their commitment towards the promotion of peace and security at the regional and international levels, support of multilateral rules-based order, as well as supporting and promoting sustainable development.
The second Joint Permanent Commission in as many years is deemed successful and central to future prospects of broader collaboration.
So I'd like to congratulate the Minister of Interior of Government of Mozambique and the Minister of Internal Affairs for making it happen. I think this historical is going to be the first of African countries to authorize removal of visas and make it happen immediately.
Mozambique is a Portuguese-speaking South African nation. The country of 34 million people is endowed with rich natural resources. Notwithstanding, the country's economy is based chiefly on fishery and agriculture, with a growing industry of food and beverages, chemical manufacturing, aluminium and oil.
The long-awaited passenger train service between Kampala and Mukono is set to begin operations on the 1st of next month, aiming to alleviate the notorious traffic congestion along the Kampala-Jinja Road. The Uganda Railway Corporation, in partnership with security organs, inspected the railway line today, confirming that 80% of the work has been completed. The reintroduction of the passenger train is expected to reduce accidents and provide an effective alternative for commuters.
Railway transport is praised for its punctuality, low risk of accidents, ability to handle significant cargo and passenger loads, affordability and reliability compared to road transport. Uganda has not used passenger trains for over 20 years, and even cargo trains had diminished. However, the Railway Corporation resumed limited passenger services for a few years ago between Kampala and Namave, which proved helpful, especially during major events like football matches at Nambole Stadium. Today's inspection was led by Uganda Railway Corporation Board Chairman Haj Abdulatif Wangubo alongside security officials.
To what we actually expected. There are some few areas that need improvement, but hopefully within the next 10 days before the commencement of the line, we shall have put them right. For example, the gabions at Kinawataka, which are being constructed to help the water, that big drain, to be put right.
Uganda Railway Corporation's Managing Director David Musoke Bulega announced that the public would be able to enjoy tours along the Kampala-Mukono route for the next 2 weeks in the celebrations of Uganda's Independence Day.
To fully open up the passenger train service with the effect from 1st October 2024. But for those who want to experience, to know their train, to know how it works, how it moves, will be open right from the second last week of September. So
he further revealed plans to add 3 more coaches to the current fleet, enhancing capacity to meet the growing demand for railway transport.
I hope by October we'll have added on another 3 coaches which are under repair. Even if they are not enough, we are going to do proper planning and scheduling of those trains to ensure that we don't have congested or congestion on the passenger coaches.
Vlega also emphasized the need for residents to avoid dumping garbage on the railway line as it poses a safety hazard. This warning was part of a broader message aimed at ensuring a smooth operation of the railway system.
As URC, or as Uganda Railway Corporation, we are trying hard to eliminate those areas which are prone to garbage dumping and encroachment.
The reintroduction of passenger trains promises to offer a safer, more reliable and efficient mode of transport, marking a significant step forward the country's public transportation network. Okou Joseph and Jamil Sekaja, UBC.
State Minister for Works, Musa Echweru, has appealed to the people of northern Uganda to endure the inconveniences caused by the closure of Kuma Bridge for their safety. Starting Monday, the 23rd of this month, the bridge will be closed to all traffic for 3 months to allow rehabilitation works.
On Tuesday, the Minister of Works and Transport, General Katumba Wamala, announced the total closure of Kuma Bridge for 3 months to facilitate its rehabilitation. The following day, State Minister for Works Musa Echweru led members of the Parliamentary Committee on Physical Infrastructure to witness the commencement of the repair works. Echweru had recently been accused of misleading Parliament when he reported that works on Kuma Bridge had already begun.
To the extent that they said government was telling a lie, no work was going on here. It is in the answer. So that's why I'm happy the Vice Chairman again is here today and a member of the committee.
The project engineer Ben Owili took a Chwero and the team beneath the bridge where work is already underway. The wooden platforms have been set up to give the team access to assess the bridge's condition. During the inspection, visible defects were observed, including cracks under the deck and damage to the rails.
You can see water now is slipping from top down. We need to replace the bearing, which we are going to check.
However, the engineer confirmed that the two horizontal beams remained in good condition and will not need replacement. All 10 bearings, which function as shock absorbers supporting the weight of the bridge, are worn out and will be replaced.
This bridge has 10 bearings, so all the bearings were worn out and needs immediate replacement. If the bearing is not okay, then definitely the load wants to be transmitted well, technically, and in the nearby future, definitely the bridge has to collapse. The concrete grade has deteriorated. We are going to demolish the deck completely and put a new one. Yes, the deck is the concrete you see on top. Additional thing that we are going to add on this bridge are the lighting. That was also not stopped. Yes.
Kuma Bridge is a critical infrastructure link connecting northern Uganda to Kampala. It was initially closed to heavy trucks in July after engineers identified serious faults that posed risk to its users.
The good news I want the country to know is that we are not looking for money for this bridge. There is already money. This parliament was very smart. Immediately they realized Karuma has a problem. They voted for money. That's why there's very many competing demands. So we are going to do whatever it takes to make sure that, yes, my people will suffer inconvenience of moving long distances. That has ramifications. But the road, the bridge is being worked on.
This is also a clear testament that the regional parliament in Gulu, that so many people never thought would bear fruits, should begin now to see that the sitting in Gulu has started bearing fruits.
Now the business community must also be taken into account by now working on a road from Ami through Kidilani up to Aber.
Motorists have been advised to use alternative routes. However, locals in Oyam and the surrounding areas feel left out of the current arrangement.
Business between Kiriandongo and Oyam will be seriously affected. I pray that something needs to be done because Atora route used to be used by ferry.
In response, Minister Chwero pledged to explore alternatives to help locals from Oyam access Kiriandongo districts during the closure. The rehabilitation contract has been awarded to China Railway 7th Group, with the UPDF serving as subcontractors. The project is estimated to cost approximately 7 billion shillings. Edi Ulwa, UBC News.
Resistance movement parties set to conduct mobilization tours in the Lango and Busoga sub-regions starting Tuesday, September 24th next week. This roadmap was established during a meeting held this Thursday afternoon at the NRM Secretariat in Kampala. We have more.
The NRM Secretary General Richard Odong convened a mini-party meeting at their offices in Kampala this Thursday. The meeting aimed to develop a program for the upcoming regional tours.
When government promises or pledges to do something, it does through stages based on the available resources. So we are to explain to the people the working of government and how some of these promises and the pledges are resolved over time. So it is partly what we're going to do. We've been having serious issues with the sugarcane farmers. We've been having issues with the fishing community because of the enforcement by UPDF on the lake. We have been having issues with those cultivating on wetlands. We've been having quite a number of issues with others. So these are things we are going to resolve and talk to the people about.
The tours commencing on Tuesday, September 24th, will begin in Lango and Busoga.
We are moving to other regions, but next week we shall be in these two regions. That's why we decided to call their leaders, so that by next week we are in their areas.
The harmonization program was attended by several key figures, including Government Chief Whip Hamson Obo and the Deputy Chairperson of the NRM Electoral Commission, Charimpa Chijaji.
I am happy that we are moving to the field. And specifically, just like I whispered to you, we also need, if we are handling issues of the the fishermen and women, the Fisheries Protection Unit. The Fisheries Protection Unit. I had a scenario where I talked on phone almost from Kampala to Karoma when the Fisheries Protection Unit confiscated some trucks in West Nile. For me, I am extremely happy that we are moving to the field. We need to move as a group and give our people hope.
Mayuge, I have been to Buyende and I intensive even Namayingo. And I visited small communities of the fishing communities. Now, when you meet the real fishing community, when it's not a political rally, they will explain to you that this limitation of fishing increased the fish hold in quantity.
A number of members of parliament from Lango and Busoga have committed themselves to the program.
Lango has very serious issues, very serious. And I want to bring to your attention that we should paint Lango yellow. Yes, because the opposition party of UPC is saying they are going to paint Lango red.
We always engage our members of parliament and all leaders at various levels. This particular one, because we intend to move to their areas to interact with the communities in their areas. That's why we call them at the party secretariat to inform them about our plan and to listen from them. And yes, political governance is not something small, and it is not something easy and simple. Most of the things we are raising are issues regarding contradictions among leaders, among themselves with other members who are expressing interest in their constituencies. And we believe over time, these issues will be resolved when we issue our roadmap as a party.
The tools which aim to assess the implementation of the party manifesto will run concurrently in both regions from September 24th to 25th. Shaidat Nasaku, Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Over 2,500 people in Ankole sub-region are to benefit from a week-long medical camp organized by the Ministry of Health in collaboration with the Association of Surgeons of Uganda. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Diana Twine, says the free health camp will run from the 22nd to the 29th of September 2024 and encouraged people in the districts that make up Ankole sub-region to register at government health facilities.
The Health and the Association of Surgeons of Uganda have finalized the arrangements to conduct a free week-long medical camp from 22nd to 29th September 2024.
And this surgical camp is targeting to operate 2,500 people in the districts of Uganda, Bwejo, Chiruhura, Mbarara, Rwampara, Isingiro, Ntungamo, Bushenyi, Shema, Mutoma, and Rubirizi.
People in the districts that make up Ankole sub-region and have illnesses that require surgical procedures have been encouraged to register at government health facilities.
The surgical camp is free. All you need is to go early and visit the health center. For the health center, the hospital near you. If you have any surgical case, you get screened and be listed on those that are going to receive free surgeries.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Diana Twine, explains why such medical camps are useful.
It's to bring the services, the surgical services, nearer. Some of these surgeries that are going to be to be handled require high-skilled specialists, which you would not get in, for example, Health Center 4 or the General Hospital, but you can only find them in bigger hospitals like regional referral or national referral hospitals. So take advantage We are bringing these services nearer to you. Make sure that you come and partake of it.
The Minister of Health has commended institutions and individuals like members of parliament from Ankole sub-region for supporting the upcoming medical camp. Adia Nakuti, UBC.
Thank you, Adia Nakuti. Uganda Cancer Society is concerned about the overwhelming numbers of breast cancer patients and appealed to Ugandans to carry out regular screening. This was raised by the Executive Director of Uganda Cancer Society, Dr. Dennis Odoi, at the launch of a breast cancer awareness run scheduled for the 20th of October 2024 at Nakasero Primary School playgrounds with an agenda of raising a screen-up van for cancer.
Breast cancer remains a life-threatening illness among women, and Uganda alone has a breast cancer age standardized incidence and mortality rate of 21 per 100,000 population and 10 per 100,000 populations respectively. Worldwide, many battle the similar illness which claims lives. According to the Executive Director of Uganda Cancer Society, Dr. Dennis Odoi, out of every 100 people diagnosed, 22 patients succumb to breast cancer.
According to the WHO, for every 100,000 cases diagnosed, 22 turn out positive. And out of the 22, we lose 12. So that means something has to be done. You may ask yourself, what is causing all this?
Dr. Odoi asserts that a number of factors that include drunkenness and smoking may lead to breast cancer.
The most important one is the behavioral factors. The behavioral factors include obesity. When you're overweight, you stand a very high risk of contacting it. Then 2 is tobacco use, smoking. Then alcohol consumption. Doesn't matter the quantity. The latest statistics is indicating alcohol consumption as opposed to what we used to have 3-5 years ago.
A Ricky Cancer Initiative, a non-government organization, and other partners, in collaboration with Uganda Cancer Society, have organized a breast cancer awareness run on 20th October 2024. The run is extended to raise funds for a modern screen-up van to help extend better services to cancer patients.
Our mode of operation is that we do community outreaches and we go to different communities. We work in partnership with government health centers, health center 3s and 4s, to make sure that we meet the women there that come to these facilities. So we shall be stationing the breast cancer screening services to serve women in these areas, and we shall be announcing that, hey, we are in Barara and we are in these regions. Hey, we are in this region and we are stationed at these health centers, to ensure that those that don't have the monies, first of all, and then those that are not aware about this service being in their community, they can come and access. And then when they get this checkup and screen up, then the Uganda Cancer Institute can take it on from there.
Cancer, in a way or another, everyone is a victim and you never know when. However, there is a big information gap about cancer. There are so many misconceptions, and that is where exactly we come in as the media to address some of these information gaps. People do not know that actually you can prevent cancer if you do early detection, for example.
I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
Farmers in Moroto district have been advised not to sell their food immediately following a bumper harvest of crops like sorghum, green gram and maize. For the past 3 years, farmers in the region struggled with poor yields due to climate change, which brought prolonged drought and insecurity that prevented them from accessing their gardens.
Travel through the villages of Moroto district, you are greeted by vast gardens of sorghum, green gram and maize, with some farmers already harvesting, while others prepare drying facilities and storage structures like granaries. Unlike the previous 3 years, where farmers were severely affected by climate change and insecurity, this year has brought a bumper harvest thanks to favorable rains and improved peace in the region.
There has been some reasonable harvest across the region, and more so Moroto, which normally receives the lowest amounts of rainfall, and therefore with poor harvests always.
I really take this time to appreciate and also really encourage my people of Lotisan sub-county and all Karamoja region to say that we need really to have time management during cultivation. Because now
but also particular sub-counties like Lotisan and Rupa, they are prone to drought every year. But of course this year, it is surprising for Lotisan as actually been the best sorghum.
Farmers have been advised not to sell their harvest cheaply, as some are already beginning to do.
This sorghum at 2,500. Tomorrow when it reaches time for cultivation, and then they will start. Then they will start charging them at 7,000 again. So I'm really pleading and also encouraging these people to stop selling sorghum. At least if they want, let them store this sorghum. When it reaches some time, then they can then they can now see how they can sell.
Has revealed that they actually sell food crops to buy either alcohol or to engage in unproductive work. So we need time. I know with the time they can be talked to and they can get out of this bad habit.
Mindful of always reserving food for our families and for our households and for our communities. It's not good for us to be pestering, for example, OPM every time, World Food Program every time, to support us.
Meanwhile, leaders and technocrats in Moroto district have expressed their dissatisfaction with some development partners. They say these partners often fail to consult local leadership on what seeds to provide and when, leading to disparities among farmers. This concern arises after some farmers observed that others were harvesting earlier despite planting at the same time.
This sorghum of mine, it is about 5 acres. I planted them around the month of March, when those other people were also cultivating their gardens. I also cultivated mine, thinking maybe I have the right type of seed to plant at the right time. Because during the time I was given by Weltanga, I was told this is a very good type.
Some of our partners who do things in a very uncoordinated manner. Some of them come up with the activities of their projects and want to go straight to the communities without touching base with the district authorities or with the line departments. So this is very disappointing. I have also known that
When it comes to the district, we do verification, we do inspection, we make examination tests together, and then we give reports. So that when you bring a seed, when you bring planting materials to the district, we first do what we call quality assurance. So we have to caution them, and the few.
Moroto, one of the districts in Karamoja sub-region, has been severely impacted by climate change, especially prolonged drought, which has led to hunger and the loss of many lives.
No sign of harvest. No sign of harvest.
I takes a very short break, but return with more stories after these messages.
Cinderella dance till she fall off. She not care for money even if you're big and tough. She do it for the love. She a liquor shot till she tipsy. That the dancing, yeah.
Why cross halfway at him? Am I just too selfish? I don't share with no one else. Am I just too selfish?
Don't know anyone who feels so right. Don't know anyone who makes me.
I had to come to terms with it and realize it's the look inside of your eyes. Something about it got.
You sparkle like a star. When I dream of you, it's you I long to please.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Namunkekela Agro-Processing Industries Limited, NAPIL, presents the Namunkekela Liaoshen Industrial Park Trade Show and Bazaar under the theme Celebrating Local and Foreign Investment on Friday 27th to Saturday 28th September 2024 at Kapeka Industrial Park starting at 9 a.m. Entrance is free. Are you a business person, school, or consumer of authentic Ugandan products? Don't miss this chance for incredible discounts on premium items like ceramic tiles, electricals, garments, shoes, bags, TVs, agricultural tools, dried mangoes, and pineapples. Guests of honor are Minister for Investment, Honorable Evelyn Anite, and the Chief Coordinator Operation Wealth Creation, General Salim Saleh. Come and enjoy Uganda's top artists. Would you like to exhibit? Call 0783-293-348 or 0757-896-914. Kapeka, the center for all your quality products.
Welcome back from that break. Now, in the ongoing murder case of Susan Magara, prosecution witness Ikook Robert presented scene reconstruction videos in court. The videos revealed that the accused had disclosed to investigators that their intention was to kidnap Susan Magara and obtain ransom money from her family, not to kill her. We have the details.
High Court Criminal Division is still continuing with the hearing of the murder case of Susan Magara, the case against 9 accused persons. The case presided over by Judge Alex Agigi Makai. The 22nd witness, Ikook Robert, further showed court the scene of reconstruction videos showing how the 9 accused persons kidnapped and murdered Susan Magara. The video footage showed the accused Hajara Nakandi and Abubeka Cheolia taking police officers around various places where they took Susan Magara after her kidnap. Among the places was Natete Church Zone, where the late Magara was detained for a week and later taken to Konge village in Wakiso. And all this was done when Magara's eyes and mouth were covered.
Yes. 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 It is a must for you to relate to the victim. Yes. However,
in the same video, Hajara Nakandi told the officers that her job was to look after Susan Magara, and she also witnessed Magara's finger being cut. In the same video, the accused Abubeka Cheolia explained how he got the bag that contained the ransom money from the deceased's family, which he later took at their detention home in Konge. The video further showed different places where the accused took Susan Magara's body after murder. Court will meet next week for...
Deputy Chief Justice Richard Buteda has urged the country to maintain continuous respect for the rule of law to prevent a reoccurrence of the dark events witnessed during the era of former Chief Justice Benedicto Chwanuka. Justice Butera made these remarks during a press briefing ahead of the memorial lecture in honor of the late Benedicto Chiwanuka scheduled for tomorrow, 20th September 2024, at the Judiciary Headquarters in Kampala.
September 1972, the then Chief Justice Benedicto Chiwanuka Kazimoto was abducted from his office at the Judiciary Headquarters in Kampala by unknown gunmen during President Idi Amin Dada's regime, and until then his whereabouts remain unknown, following the legacy he left during his administration as Chief Justice of Uganda, especially in promoting the rule of law and fighting for human rights. Until then, his life is celebrated by the country, as the judiciary every year holds a memorial lecture to remember his life. Speaking ahead of his memorial lecture tomorrow, the Deputy Chief Justice Richard Butera has asked for continuous observance of rule of law in the country to avoid the ell of Chief Justice Benedicto Chiwanuka Kazimoto.
What makes people respect the laws of the country is, are we sure that when an offense is committed, the offender will be apprehended and we do not have to do mob justice ourselves, but have to protect the rights of this offender? He will be tried. Now what we are doing in the judiciary is to see how quickly we dispose of the criminal cases and civil cases.
Deputy Chief Justice also highlighted on some of the insights to be tackled during the function, where President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni will be the chief guest.
This theme is in line with our constitutional mandate, the constitutional mandate of the judiciary, which is in Article 126(1) of our Constitution. The keynote speaker will be lecturer Dr. Zahala Nampewo from the School of Law of Makerere University. We honor prominent personalities who have contributed to the rule of law in Uganda. This year, we have chosen to honor two outstanding awardees, and the individuals are Justice Faith Manyindo, the retired Deputy Chief Justice, and Justice James Ogora, a retired Principal Judge.
Justice Butera also highlighted on how the judiciary has worked towards observing the rule of law, among others, emphasizing the importance of alternative dispute resolution mechanisms in resolving conflicts.
We are looking therefore at alternative justice systems. Can't we use our religious leaders? Can't we use our community leaders? Can't we use our elders to settle disputes between families, to settle disputes between communities, and they do it in a faster way, in a cheaper way, and that promotes justice in the population. The faster we resolve these cases, the better for the delivery of justice. Very few of our cases from the majority of the people come to our courts. The majority are actually settled by LCs and local leaders. Can't we help these people to do it better? Can't we guide them on how to do it?
The late Chief Justice Benedicto Chiwanuka Kazimoto's memorial lecture will be observed under the theme, Promoting a People-Centered Approach to Justice. Benedicto Chiwanuka Kazimoto, before his judicial assignment, he was an eminent politician who was instrumental in the process of the Uganda independence. Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nansubuga, UBC News.
Local leaders, civil society organizations, policymakers and other representatives from the regions of Eastern, Western and Karamoja have urged government to come up with long-lasting solutions for disasters. They made the remarks at the National Advocacy and Influencing Dialogue on strengthening local government disaster preparedness and response capacities in Uganda.
Of late, Uganda, being a highly disaster-prone country, has experienced a number of natural hazards, such as floods, landslides, hailstorms, among others. All these have had a significant impact on the population, causing damages to properties and claiming lives. The dangers of these natural disasters have greatly hit the eastern, western and Karamoja regions.
I remember very well in 2021 we had the issues of locusts. That is also a big one that happened. We have had the floods that is disturbing us year in, year out every time rainy season in Dokolo district.
There are diseases, epidemics. We had COVID, we always hear of Ebola. We have Mpox now in the Kasese.
It's against this backdrop that Western Uganda Humanitarian Platform and other representatives from those regions have come up with a dialogue on climate resilience to avert these natural happenings.
Held different regional engagements, but the key points we got was that local governments, actually the first responders, they would be first responders, have no capacity to respond to emergencies.
Most challenging part on our side was getting a machine, an excavator, to block the water passage. We are lucky enough we are able to get one, to secure one, and we are able to secure the town.
However, human-related activities equally contribute to endangering of nature.
Nyamwamba, we had mining of copper in the valley of Kilembe. That is where Nyamwamba comes from. And as a result, the Canadians who were mining copper changed the course of the river. Secondly, the encroachment on the water catchment areas due to cultivation, due to putting up fish ponds.
With the Kasese district being affected most in western Uganda whenever River Nyamwamba bursts its banks, thus flooding. Mustafa Chikus, the Principal Assistant Secretary, Kasese District Local Government, says they choke on insufficient funding, leaving the local leaders out.
Of Water and Environment has worked with the government of Egypt, and they have managed the funding, the donation, without involving the indigenous knowledge, the indigenous authority, the local authority in managing these issues. Like the project that is going on, did not capture the hotspot areas that required the desilting.
According to attendees, there are still missing gaps in providing accurate information in early warnings about weather and climate changes, which at the end affects masses.
Despite of the support that they are giving, humanitarian support or aid is not constant.
So we are trying now to see if we can have early warning systems to engage the local for mitigation.
They argued that the concept of localization must be implemented to deter any threats from occurring. In order to tackle any recurring disasters, the leaders urged the government to come up with long-lasting solutions to prevent deadly emergencies.
Making sure human activities are restrained from reaching the rivers, the river banks. They are restrained, and the law there should apply.
I'm Ivan Juko and Stephen Kalisia for UBC. The Fisheries Protection Unit commander castigated members of parliament for criticizing and politicizing PFU's operations on different lakes with the motive of attracting political audiences, which makes their work difficult. During an engagement meeting of fishers from different landing sites and islands in Wakiso district held in Chiwongo, which aimed at sensitizing the fishing community about the new Fisheries Act of 2023 as they exercise appropriate fishing methods to curb illegal fishing.
To curb illegal fishing on Uganda's water bodies, the Fisheries Protection Unit launched a new initiative of sensitizing fishers on different landing sites across the country on how they can implement good fishing practices. Leaders representing different landing sites, including islands in Wakiso district, have convened in Chigungu, where they have been sensitized on the new Fisheries Act of 2023 as a way of combating illegalities on the lakes.
Lero tuze kusoma. Olina license?
Uganda yona bavuga mukene. Nala bagenda kupiringa nze. Mutego mugenda kupiringa.
During this engagement, The Fisheries Protection Unit Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Mercy Adat Kahera, expressed her dissatisfaction with some legislators for compromising their operations on the lake for their own interests.
Anedde mumbuulire bino si byafuzi abantu bammwe abo babaddewa bali mu kunvuma kubanga abantu mbabaddeyo ennaku bbiri bavube bafune school fees zizzayo abaana ku ssomero
abadde ku TV nga babuzaabuza oluvannyuma olw'amadaamu olwo okumala okwogera kati nabo beekangabiriza bayimuka beekangabiriza bakola ki ng'ateteeka be balisayininga ne batukuba omulundi gumu.
This comes after some members of parliament representing areas around water bodies yesterday came out and disagreed with the FPU's decision to allow silverfish fishers to go back on the lake and fish for 2 days.
And us as members of parliament, we are not against any fishermen, not like we are even against the silverfish fishermen, but our concern is we want to know where is the minister, in which law is the minister giving these directives, or under what law is the FPU commander, Madame Massey, giving these directives. Lieutenant Colonel Massey urged the fishing communities to desist from being misled by some politicians who are not even informed about what is happening, but they instead tend to win political interests.
Some of the politicians, they don't want to come out and sensitize these people, telling them about the laws that governing the lake. But you'll find that they are criticizing the Commander Fisheries protecting the ground.
First of all, I would like to thank the government of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for his great work, for bringing us such leaders from the army. Madame Massey has done a very good work.
The FPU commander pardoned the fishing communities after admitting and directed detached commanders to give them their impounded fishing gears. FPU retaliated to its directive to silverfish fishers to fish for 2 days and take their children back to school as they wait for an official decision from the government. Sula Kagugube compiled the story.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
The Ministry of Health informs the general public that there are some cases of Mpox detected in Uganda. The ministry, working with partners and affected district local government, are doing their best to contain the situation. The signs and symptoms of Mpox are body rash, fever, general body weakness, headache, sore throat, nasal congestion or cough, and swollen lymph nodes. You can prevent yourself from getting infected with Mpox by avoiding close contact with people who have been confirmed to have Mpox or who have signs and symptoms of Mpox. Avoiding touching or sharing personal items like beddings, eating utensils, phones, or other belongings of a person who has the signs and symptoms of Mpox. Avoiding contact, including eating with all wild animals, alive or dead, especially those known to carry the virus, such as rodents and monkeys, and those that appear sick or have been found dead. Getting vaccinated if you're among those who have been identified to be at high risk of Mpox infection. Mpox is treatable and usually goes away after 2 to 4 weeks. However, it can be severe, causing even death, especially among children, pregnant women, and those with other health conditions. For more information and support, contact your nearest health worker. Call the Ministry of Health's toll-free line on 0800 100 066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500.
The East Africa UK Tourism and Cultural Expo 2024 is here, happening on 8th and 9th of November 2024 under the theme Enhancing Tourism as Engine for Social and Economic Transformation on the sidelines of WTM London at the Rembrandt Hotel, 11 Thalo, PI South Kensington, London, SW7 2RS, United Kingdom. The guest of honor will be the Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga. For tickets, exhibitors will pay £1,000 and participants will pay £300. For more information, call +256 787 096 100 or +254 795 806 969. Visit www.eauktourismexpo.com to register.
Welcome back from that break. And now into the business scene. In a quest to upscale coffee farming, the Uganda Coffee Development Authority Board of Directors together have kicked off a one-week-long field monitoring and evaluation exercise in Bugesera sub-region, one of Uganda's coffee basket regions. Now, our reporter, Crispus Arinitwe, is with the UCDA delegation and filed this report.
Uganda Coffee Development Authority Board of Directors and the technical team are currently conducting field visits in the Uganda sub-region to assess the coffee value chain. This high-level team is meeting coffee farmers, processors, and the district officials to assess the coffee sector in this region. Talking about the coffee seeds, many farmers are earning a lot of money from this sector. We meet this Nangai Charles. This coffee farmer is earning approximately 100 million Uganda shillings annually. When you talk to him, he says that he's enjoying life at his best. He has managed to take his children to the best schools in his country. Through coffee, his life has been given a new turn.
He has over 35,000 coffee trees. He normally gets around 100,000 kilograms of cherries per year. After that, he sells cherries. It has helped him. He has made a lot of developments from it. He has expanded some coffee plots. He has built a house from it. He has bought a car from it, and this car is used to ferry inputs. He said he normally gets over 100 million shillings annually.
I feel like studying, being in High School is not easy for some people, but since my dad has been able to keep me there, and he's always on time to pay fees.
Talking about the 4-acre model of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Nangai Charles is one character performing this well. This coffee farmer has got zero grazing in his own backyard. This coffee farmer bought this coffee farm from his neighbor, and through stamping he has managed to rejuvenate this coffee farm, and now he earns approximately 100 million Uganda shillings annually.
And also telling the police to make sure all these thieves who involve themselves in stealing people's coffee are charged into courts of law, not to give them police bonds. You know, when you grow your coffee and somebody come and steals, you get demoralized and you say, if it means I grow for the thieves, let me go with this business. Every Ugandan, if you have land, let us go for farming. You not go wrong. The president has got us market.
Crispus Arinitwe here in the Uganda sub-region, Bugesera.
And into sports, the cricket cranes have fallen yet again to Papua New Guinea by 30 runs in Game 2 of the Uganda-Papua New Guinea 50-over series, as Papua New Guinea picked up a 2-0 lead in the series. The second game, played at Entebbe Cricket Oval, saw PNG score 147 runs all out in 45.2 overs, as Uganda scored 114 runs all out in 42.1 overs. We have more details in this report.
In the low-scoring game, Uganda failed to get off the bat, yet again failing to chase 147 runs score set by PNG in the first innings. Top order batters Simon Sesazi, Shiridip, Mangela, Ravana, Dawan and Pasco Murungi were dismissed, all with single-digit scores. Captain Riazat Alisha and Dinesh Nakrani 43 runs and 24 runs respectively were the only glimmer of hope for the Ugandan side. The rain interrupted play, lowering the target for Uganda to 145 runs by DL decision, but still the score was too high for the side that lost by 30 runs. The final scores were 147 runs all out for PNG and 114 runs all out for Uganda.
We need to learn how to bat in 50 overs. We are still working. I think it's time now. I mean, we have to be honest here. We have given a lot of chances to everyone, and we are hoping that they will learn very soon, because it is the bowlers are doing well. We bowled them out in 176 in the first match, and in the second game it was, if I'm not wrong, 148 was the target for us. So we are not getting those runs while chasing. So, and I'll be very honest in saying that yes, we are not batting well, and we are going to work on these things.
Yeah, no, Papua is a strong team, but we are more talented than this. The way we are playing, and we have tournaments to come, Challenge League B, and the way we are playing now, we don't want to play cricket like this. We have to show up in next game and show the world that who we are, show our fans that the way we want to play our cricket.
Our opponents, PNG, who won the toss and opted to bat first, were pleased by the result and hope to continue building on that.
Anyone who plays a game plays to win. So you achieve that feat of winning at the end of the game. There is a feel-good factor about it, so it always feels good to win. What I'm using it for is not to learn about the team, because I already know how they play and how they adapt to conditions. But what we are learning is the conditions, first and foremost. So the conditions, how the wicket plays, how the heat is different, because in Papua New Guinea it's hot and humid.
The win gives PNG a 2-0 lead in the 50-over 4-match series that takes a break tomorrow and returns on Saturday, 21st September 2024. The series is a training event for both teams ahead of the Challenge League A for PNG and Challenge League B for Uganda. Grace Joyce Kemgisa, UBC News.
And with that, we've come to the end of this edition of UBC News Tonight. Thank you so much for your company. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto and my colleague Mohammed Mugalu. We wish you a good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
In a world where every day is a battle for survival, one man endures grueling hardships just to make a living.
Yes, sir. Akali munkamaliza bulungi sir. Onokola. Yes, chido.